wait to be connected to your specialists.
Sorry, my stomach just grumbled. I practice self-care by kind of doing whatever feels good in the moment, whether it's sleeping in or getting my body moving with a really fun and enjoyable exercise. But sometimes that's just walking and listening to a podcast or chatting with my mom, going on a bike ride, or if it's sleeping in, it's just reading or journaling. Sometimes I'll wash my face really slowly, so it makes me feel like I took care of myself, and I'll shave my legs because it makes me feel like I've done something with competence, and it makes me feel really good by the end of it all. What else? Let's see. I consider self-care to be, asking yourself kind of what you need, and I go for a run each day, which helps me kind of center myself and get me out of my head. It's a lot of it can feel like pampering myself, but also just doing mindful exercises of reflecting, like journaling and, giving my dog a good hug every once in a while. I go for a lot of runs. That's kind of like my run so fast, escape the thoughts in my brain sort of thing. And I can just plug in music, especially right now, to be outside and just be like, okay, for these 30 minutes, for an hour and a half, I am alone with myself. I don't have to listen to my brain and can just move and sweat out all of my anxiety. I also cook a lot. I always check to see if I'm in balance. And if something's out of balance, I try to correct it. So if I'm acting really obsessive about something, project or whatever, I will always try to do something to balance that out. Like something that I know I'm not good at, for example, so that I can feel challenged in a different kind of way. And at the same time, even if I'm feeling really good, I always check myself to try to not plunge so deeply into that feeling, because I've learned from experience that can be really unhealthy to encourage this kind of life that's super high highs and really low lows. I have a really lovely bathtub where I live right now, and I just sort of like to immerse myself in the warm water with bath bombs and kind of having that multi-sensory experience of the heat and the smells and kind of everything that comes with the bath is just lovely. And I find it just incredibly soothing, more so than anything else I probably do for what we would call self-care. Sometimes I will combine the two and be in the bathtub with my computer next to it, and I'll be watching like Drag Race or something while I am just soaking, and it's just so sublime. I can't even, you just have to try it. I really think it's great. The most important of them is absolutely the baths. If I could choose one, I would just choose to return to the womb. I practice self-care by going to the gym, by meditation, yoga, holding myself, talking to myself, making sure that I know who I am. It allows me to sit in quiet, sit with myself, sit with my thoughts, sit with the environment around me, and just breathe, not be bombarded by devices, people, technology, and what's going on in the world. Another thing that I do that really works for me, but kind of exacerbates certain issues for me, is I journal. I'm a pretty compulsive journaler. I actually find myself spiraling whenever I journal, and I always think it's going to be a place for me to compartmentalize a thought and be like, okay, boom, it's done. I don't have to think about that anymore. But really, I just go deeper into it and maybe find other things that I'm stressed or anxious about. I think I have a pretty misconstrued sense of self-care, because you always see people on Instagram posting images of bubble baths, but I think I've come to realize, especially during these times, that self-care for me isn't necessarily something that's relaxing, serene solitude. It's more of on my rooftop, it looks out over Brooklyn. It's got the best view of the sunset, in my opinion. In my home right now, there's a few things that I love to look at. If we're going just by time, I absolutely spend the most amount of time each day staring at screens. My phone, my computer, the TV, or my Nintendo. But I think like the things that I kind of sentimentally attach myself to, that I love to look at, it's a ceramic tea set that a friend of mine in Providence made for me. And I just look at it and I just feel such love, like genuine affection to kind of hold and carry my friend with me. As I kind of enjoy the tea, I think it's another multi-sensory experience that I really can feel through this material object. So yeah, tea set. It's probably my favorite thing to look at in my home. But also right now, I've been alone in my apartment for about a month now, and I haven't really seen anyone. So that's something. It's not an exact place, but I'm really starting to crave and just need to be around people. This is my parents' cabin. It's just in the middle of nowhere. But it has a tiny lake near it, and when you go, it's just so silent and so peaceful. And at night, you can see all the fireflies light up, and you like think your brain is playing a trick on you because there are all just, they look like sparklers, and I'll just like lie in the middle of the road because no cars ever come by, and just stare at the stars, because they have rules about light pollution in that area, because it's like a protected territory, so you can see every single star in that sky. This is my plant. I just got her. She's really long and beautiful. I have a very big plant, and whenever I look at it, I just feel really good. It's just cool to look at like a living thing. It's so green and beautiful, and anyway. I would love to be doing like a long distance hike right now. That's what I was supposed to be doing this summer before the pandemic hit. There's a lot of places that I really like. There's not like a go-to, but I think that any place that I go to, you can get a little bored of it. But lately I've been really enjoying it here in Provincetown, Massachusetts. It's been a solid escape from, and I've come here a couple times during the pandemic. And yeah, I just, for some stupid reason, just put 3 books that are all primary colors. Or no, that's actually not true. Because I love drinking coffee, I love making it in that little contraption. And it makes me feel like I'm in Europe, so I love that. Probably my massage chair. My massage chair gives me great massages and good naps. Really, any place at all, besides my own home. It's this beach in the Cayman Islands. It's where my family would go on spring break since we were 8 years old, and the water is so warm and calm and clear. And nothing feels scary about it because it's so... I can just see everything in the water, and the sand is really soft and never too hot. There are no shells and rocks like getting in your way. It just feels clean, and I float really easily, and the sun just hits me in a really relaxing way. My skateboard. As of now, there's one spot on the island where there's a couple benches and it looks out into the marsh. And across the marsh is like a row of these massive, massive trees and big houses. But the marsh itself it has a ton of channels. Like, it's a very channely marsh. I don't know what the appropriate term for that is, but I'd say that's one of my favorite places because it just seems like the sky is a million miles wide and tall, and it meets the grass in the marsh, and it's just beautiful. And any time of day, it's like a different kind of scene. Like at night, the way the light sparkles on the water is unreal, but during the daytime, like, there's all this wildlife that you see zooming around and like going about their business, and it's really fun to just sit there and watch. I'm going to consider this like two different questions. Where I want to be is another question, and that is tough because I feel like I've gotten so set in my ways of being here that it almost feels scary after being, after 5 months of just to like do something like move to New York, which I'm planning to do very soon. But I also, I'm excited to move to New York, to be, around friends and see people, obviously, in a smart way by social distancing. But I don't know. That's something that I want to ponder a little bit more and maybe consider it a goal, where I want to be right now, physically and I guess metaphorically, career-wise and personally. I'm really thinking deep into this, aren't I? Where I want to be right now. I don't know.